We're here live today for the Algoma Basketball Show with Coach Etienne Jacquet and Bigus Bangoura. How are you guys today?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing, Jay?
Good. And you, Coach? You're back in the office, I see, Coach.
Back in the office. So, we're putting in that work.
The only thing is a little bit different in Montreal. You said Montreal, everybody's acting like everything's normal there. Here in the Sioux, a little bit different still, right?
Yes, I kind of went for a jog and I was seeing lineups in different places that in Montreal there was no lineup. So it is different. It's definitely different.
So nice to be back in the office and back on the court.
Yes, sir. Now we're just, lining up the guys so we can start working out.
Coach, just to get it, out there and we'll talk about it then and it's done. Is with Nick Gale and going to Nipissing, can you just talk a little bit about that before we get in with Bigus?
To be honest, there's really not much to say. He decided to transfer. Kids can transfer when they want to. I mean, it's part of basketball. I'm going to wish him the best. And other than that, I'm focused on Algoma basketball. So, there's not much I can do. He decided to leave. He put in his time and then that's it. Now we just, it provides a new opportunity for a lot of the guys that I recruited to step up and get that time and get everything going. We're not going to dwell on it. It's great. And, we're moving on.
And just so people watching know and who don't know how does that transfer rule work when it comes to not just Nick, but anybody for the OUA or U Sport?
If you transfer schools, basically what you have to do is sit out for a year before you can attend play on the next team. So that's one thing. And the second thing is to make sure that in terms of academics and everything, you're taking care of everything and that you're actually eligible to play. So these are two major rules in terms of transfers. Other than that, if you feel like transferring, you can basically transfer if you're willing to pay the hefty 365-day price of non-participation. So that's good.
And now, like I say, we're not leaving you out, but we just wanted to get that clear the air and just so everybody knows what's going on with the program. First thing is, when were you first contacted by the coaching staff at Algoma?
So Algoma was actually the first school to ever contact me when I went to La Cité College. So I think Coach Etienne contacted me after my first four or five games. I think it was fourth game.
Yeah, probably three, 4 games. Yeah.
Yeah, three, four games.
Then I saw some good things. Yeah.
Exactly, and that is truly something that I think deserves like a lot of recognition. I came from not having a lot of recognition through my name, and seeing a youth sport coach, telling me that, hey, you know what, I see a lot in you and you have a lot of potential, was something that I truly needed during the season as well, as giving me a confidence boost to see that I can go further than just college and hopefully go further than just university too. So since then, we've been in contact throughout the whole school year. Then I had to go with my gut feeling and stay with someone who has been with me since the beginning, and that's Etienne for sure.
And something with your recruitment picture and your commitment picture, you had a face shield on. What happened? Can we ask what happened there?
Yeah, so I had a pretty rocky season, as you may say. I got in November, after my third game, I got a concussion. So then I was out for a few games. And then back in January, I had an orbital fracture on the left side of my eye. So I had to wear the face shield because if ever I would to get hit in the face again, my left eye would droop down. So I just went to the doctor's yesterday to get checked out, and then I'm going to get checked out next week. They're saying so far everything's good. They don't think I would need the face mask anymore, but they would like for me to use a mouth guard just to absorb more shock and not have any more facial fractures.
And Coach, when it comes to mouth guards, that's optional on players, isn't it?
It's optional, definitely, but it's highly recommended because once you start getting into this league, the elbow's a little bit higher, the guy's a little bit bigger, we're moving a little bit faster. You don't want to get hit with an elbow there's more damage that's going to be done at this level for sure.
And Bigus, what was it, like you said, the coach followed you throughout the season and stuff like that. What clinched your decision to come to Algoma and Sault Ste. Marie?
I think my biggest decision was being able to have the playing time that I really want, and be able to have a coach that believes in me and sees a future in me like I see in myself. So Etienne, we had a few long phone calls. He sees my potential on the defensive end, sees my athleticism, and sees what I could be and what my potential could be in the long run. So with that being said, I think the decision from that point on was pretty easy.
And Coach, it must be something when it comes to you must talk to these guys before they come on the show, because all I hear from all these guys is defense, defense, defense. What's up with that, Coach?
We don't really communicate it. It's just the direction that I'm going in, right? I'm looking for guys that kind of understand different things and also have a certain mentality. And I think, everyone is talking about defense because they understand, and they're savvy enough to understand that this is a big part of it. Having the ability to stop the opponent makes you makes you stronger, makes you more confident, but also gives you an opportunity to be on the court longer. So if you can first do that, you're on the court, then your opportunities to score, your opportunities to get potential baskets, and your opportunities to feel good about the game, it's better. So that's the kind of guys we're looking for. We want to be good at. We want to be very, very good on that end, and then work on getting better in the rest of the departments of basketball in terms of skills and IQ.
And Bigus, what will you be taking at Algoma?
I'll be taking. I think I'll be taking criminology now. Algoma. I'm making a few changes to make sure that I can take the classes that would be more suited for me. So yeah, I think criminology is definitely one way that I really want to take.
And Coach, what attracted you to this young man to bring him to Algoma and to add him to your roster?
I was watching a couple of games. I saw his ability to move defensively. Some of the things that he was doing on the court, his athleticism. He was able to jump on guys. He was able to switch on screens. He was able to pick up, half court. He was pick up guys, 45 feet and locking them down. And I said, ooh, that's something we want to have, all right? And then, brother came back and he showed me he was tough. He came back like LeBron James with a mask on, dunking on people, doing all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm like, listen, this guy needs to be wearing red and white. So that's what really attracted me to this guy, and he has a very good coach. He had a good coach also down there that I coached in the pros, and we had the ability to kind of have long conversations about his character and everything. So really, it was very, very, very nice to have the opportunity to have Bigus come down and play in our organization.
And Bigus, like you say, you're coming from the OCAA with the Coyotes, where you saw about, like you say, 31 minutes per game with an average of 15 points per game. Do you think you can still bring that to the OUA from the OCAA?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a bigger change. Having bigger bodies, obviously, college level, you see players that are mostly like 6'1", 6'2". You see a big that's like 6'3", and I'm 6'4". Then going to the OUA, seeing players that are bigger, 6'7", 6'8", big men, 7-footer like in Ryerson. So yeah, I think my game will definitely change. I've been working all summer to make sure that I can extend my range, so then I'm not just focusing up most of my points and paints or fast break, that I could break it down on the half court set and be able to facilitate to my teammates as much as I can, break it down the defensive end, and hopefully get a bucket on the fast break and hopefully dunk on someone.
And Coach, where do you see him fitting into your roster this coming season?
I'm seeing him being there in the rotation. He has a few things to learn, but definitely has a high potential. So it's up to him to master some of the things that's needed to play at that level, and then he should be on the court. It's really in his hands. I mean, I see high potential for him.
And because when it comes to we talked off air before we got on the started live. You didn't make a campus visit, but your brother came here to Sault College. What do you know about Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma?
It's small, and there's not much around. But I also believe that it probably is the best environment for a player who really wants to be taken seriously within basketball. You're there, you're locking down. There's no distractions. There's no reason for you not to get in the gym early in the morning. There's a reason for you to get in the gym 2 or 3 times a day. There's nothing else to do really. So yeah, seeing my brother come down here, he was able to focus on school and get all his marks and get everything going. So I'm easily going to be able to do the same thing. And then having the coaching staff that we do and the teammates that we do, talking to a few of the guys, and I already know that we're going to be locking down early in the morning and getting focused and ready for the season.
And coach, we talk probably every couple of days and talking about the small town, even though it's 70,000 people, it's a small town atmosphere. And that's one thing the guys are talking about, that the new ones that are going to like that, right?
Yeah, they're going to love it. They're going to love that part. They're going to have the ability to be themselves. People are friendly. I mean, I went for a jog yesterday morning. People were waving at me, and it's going to be different. It's going to be a different feel for sure, and they're going to enjoy that part. And that's the beautiful part about Sault Ste. Marie. To be honest, it's a great place to be.
Because if I ask you if I was to ask you what coach would say, what would be your selling point to him about you coming to Algoma? Like what?
I think it would be definitely being probably one of the better defenders in the league coming straight out of college. I think also would be the high point of potential that I will have throughout the off season, and then starting regular season, I'll definitely be a threat as soon as we start. And then I think the thing that might be the most unspoken about is also my IQ. I think I have a very high knowledge of the game, and then through defensive rotations or offensive decisions, I'll be able to facilitate at a higher rate that a lot of people assume I can.
And something like coach mentioned about everybody's got something to learn. What do you think you got to work on for, I guess, now January to be prepared for the season?
I think the biggest thing I've been working right now is my shot, but I think something that I definitely need to work on is fully understanding a set inside and out. I want to be able to know every single play, every single variation to the play, every single decision I can make, and every single decision not to make, and why not to make those decisions. I think that's my next step to fully understanding the game, and it's also just developing that switch when to turn it on and turn it off every single time I need to, and being able to execute with that the coaches demand every single time down the floor.
And so you mentioned you talked to Vincent Falado, who played here last year and will be back. If for the players who are watching or the guys who are watching, one word, how would you describe yourself as a basketball player and why?
I say explosive. I think I have a quick reaction to everything that I do. So once I get the ball, unless you're gonna grab me or throw me on the ground, I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep going.
And coach, if I asked you one word about Bigus, how would you explain it and why?
Hey, you stole my word. That's what I was gonna say. It's good, man. Really fast twitch individual. So that's really it. That's having that person that that can come on the court and change everything in a split second. So you call these guys explosive. That's the word.
And Bigus, when it comes to this season is, like you say, like no other really. When it comes to, because you're probably not going to be playing until January. Again, everybody wants that championship. But what are your personal goals for 2021 when you step on campus?
That's a great question, actually. I've been looking at the Rookie of the Year. I think I won it once in college, and I'm trying to win it again this year. I've been definitely looking at Defensive Player of the Year. I know Locke Lamb won that one, being a 6'8" big man. I think that's definitely something that I've been pursuing. I'm really good. I'm very fast with my hands, so I feel like steals per game. I'm trying to be number one in the league with steals per game too. I think and I think far and foremost, I really just I'm waiting. I'm waiting for us to make the playoffs. I want that push, so I'm going to be pushing all my teammates for us to make that playoffs. OUA, the youth sports is going to be very interesting this year, and I'm happy that we have this time to train, and especially having them giving us 4 months. I consider actually giving us 4 months more to train. They're giving me 4 more months to get my body right and get ready for the youth sports. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
And when do you hope to come up to the campus?
I'm hoping to come up actually in mid-August, so then I can have everything set. We're talking with a few guys. I think it was Ben and Roman, and we're trying to find a place in res. Therefore, we'd be able to wake up together, bump together, spend time together, communicate, and just bond and have a good chemistry.
And Coach, you had mentioned just off air before we came on about you and Steven were actually in the background here, like say the George Leach. Talk a little bit about that and what that was like.
It felt great. To be honest, we were out there, opened up, gym. We're the only ones there. It was like our house. We're in there. We're just training, and we did what we needed to do in there, and enjoyed it. Just enjoyed having the ability to get in there and work, right? And it was great. And then we even stayed in there a little bit after, and just appreciated being on the court. Sometimes when you're passionate about doing something like we're passionate about basketball, we just stayed in there, and we kind of said, man, this is great. You have an opportunity to just be yourself, and the university is giving us a chance to show that we can be responsible, and give us the opportunity to be in the gym, and let's make sure we take care of ourselves and stay healthy. But if we can do that, we can train. That's a blessing. That's a blessing, and it was amazing. And I feel like Steven really loved working one-on-one with me, because once you're able to have that personal attention to details in your game, he felt like he looked at me and said, Coach, I understood some stuff like in this right now that, you were preaching the whole time. But now, because you're actually focused 100% on me, I feel like, I'm going to get better. And then we're planning to do that all week. So, I'm excited to do that with him, and I'm excited to do it with all the players, to be honest with you. And you're giving me time to get these guys better. Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing what these guys can become.
And biggest with everything, like say everything happened in March with COVID and everything, but things have changed a lot since March, but also again tweaks and stuff like that. How have you, I guess, kept in shape, and what have you been doing with basketball skills, and how you've been doing that since as we've been going along?
Well, the first thing I did as soon as COVID hit is that I was actually living in an apartment near my college. Then I decided to go back home where my parents have a little barn set up. So I flattened out the ground. I put a basketball net in there, 10 feet, and I went to work. So I've been training on sand, trying to get my jump shot, trying to get a higher vertical. As soon as I hit 2, I bought a ladder. I bought a pair of shoes. I've been running up hills. I've been using the Marnie's workouts too. I've been working on my ball handling. I've been doing work every day. And I'm just gonna keep going until that clock starts, and then the season time.
So no excuse for his cardio then, right, Coach?
No excuse. So we actually we don't really talk about it much, but there's actually certain things guys gonna have done to help them get better prepared for the speed of the game and all these different things. And, the kids are working on it, and they're getting better at it, to be honest with you. They're getting real better at it. And now we're in a part where we actually even going to start competing with one another. We have this little setup where, Well, we're not going to talk too much about it, but we have this little setup where we're going to be competing. So and that's the fun part, right? Now we're getting stronger, and the guys are getting better. Now we're competing against one another, and we make it fun. We make it as fun as we can, and as long as we keep getting better, and as long as we're training, it's good for everyone.
I guess one thing I've learned about Coach since last August is you almost get it out of him, and he catches himself, and he doesn't tell you what we want to hear.
Yeah, he's good with it. He's good with it. I think he does it purposely. He just edges you on, let out. He's like, nah. They're not ready.
Just those teasers, eh?
Exactly.
He tells you, then he pulls it back.
Hey, you can't let out all the secrets, man. Some of the stuff we're keeping for ourselves.
Totally, exactly. But yes, now I use the way technology is in that today. Have you communicated with many of the guys?
Yeah, I have. I've communicated with Ben. I communicated with Roman. I communicated with Finn, Steven, Devin, Jay. Jay actually lives literally 15 minutes away. I live in Manatik, which is like a suburban, outskirts of Ottawa, and he lives in Barrie, so it's 15 minutes away, and we're trying to get some work in soon. And so I've been communicating with the guys. I feel like these guys are very, very humble and like hungry. Like you just feel that presence out of every single player. One of them. I played with Jay once, and that's a pretty funny story. We played at a Sensplex way back in a few months ago. I think it was like a year ago. And I tried dunking on Jay, and he swatted my ish out of here. He said, none of this. I said, okay, it's a big boy. It's a big boy. So I know Jay since way back when. And, yes, I was excited to see that he was on the team. And coach showed me his commitment picture, and I had goosebumps. I was like, the things we can do with this team can really be scary once we all click in and we all get ready for a season.
And Coach, what is it about? Something about Eastern Ontario in your recruiting? What's that about basketball there? And you're like this year, a lot of your recruits are in that area.
Well, actually, 2 reasons. First reason, these guys they all heard of Thetford, and that's where I was coaching before, and they all seen me put the guys in the NBAs and the different youth sports and university leagues, NCAA. Some of the guys ended up going to play pro in other places. So when I come up to these guys, I don't have to really kind of sell myself and say, hey, listen, I did that, coach. We already know. Now, what are you going to do for me? So it's an easier kind of recruiting talk, right? Because they've done the research and they've seen what I've done. And the second part is, I tried to get into Toronto as well and do different things, and they have a different, way of thinking. So, I feel comfortable, talking with some of these guys that are in Eastern Ontario, and they know me, and, they feel like, every player around Toronto gets all the attention, and they feel like these guys, always get everything. So they want to come out and show that, hey, we can play this game too. We can play this game as well, and we can play it as well as anyone else in the country. So I like that attitude about these guys, that's who they are. That's how they are. That's how they operate. So I love it. I love it. And they're in a city where they saw championships. They saw Ottawa U. They saw Carleton University. They saw Thetford Prep. They saw CTA Prep. So basically in their area, they've basically seen the 4 teams that have been nationally or provincially doing some great things with young brothers, right? So they have aspirations. They know what it takes to win, and we want some of these guys in our program.
And Bigus, how can basketball help that hockey team in Ottawa?
I don't think anything can help the Sanders, to be honest. That's a lost cause. I gave up on those.
Like say, I'm a hockey guy, but like I say, become more basketball because of like Algoma and the streaming and everything. But yeah, like say that hockey team there is just we'll leave that one alone.
After what happened the last few years, I stopped watching when people started saying that the owners were trying to sell, were doing some mischievous things with the teams. I said no. Okay, you know what? That's enough. I'm not watching this. So I let them go.
It's really understandable. Now, Bigus, if I was to ask you if you were to play 1-on-1 with anybody you could, who would it be and how would you beat them?
Whew, that's a tough question. Dead or alive?
Yep.
I think I'll. Ooh, I'm gonna have to say some this. Ooh, okay. There's a few players I've been modeling my game out since I really started taking basketball seriously. That's Kawhi, that's Paul George, and that's Russell Westbrook. So I think out of those three guys, I think I would have to pick Kawhi. I think his stature and his body, the way he uses his frame, his big hands, he gets the shot right off. If you see the arc in the shot, is not absolutely, it doesn't change most of the time, except for that Game 7 winner that flew to the sky. But most of the time it's the same shot, same repetition. So I just want to get in his head, just understand how he portrays his body, his footwork, and all that. But I think the best way to beat Kawhi would probably be just you're gonna have to shoot him out of the gym, because if you try to drive to the rim, he's just gonna body and swat you. So yeah, I think that's it. Kawhi Leonard.
And your thoughts on that, Coach?
Oh, very good choice. Kawhi is, he's one of those guys. He's a humble assassin. He doesn't talk too much. He doesn't do too much. But I'm telling you, he lets his game speak. His game speak, and what he can do is it's something else, to be honest. I had the opportunity to see him play up close. At a game in Toronto, and wow, listen, the wingspan this brother has and the ability to do certain things he's a great player. To be honest, he's great. So, Bigus would have his hands full playing against Kawhi Leonard.
Probably. I'm saying 12-10 for me. Being humble, I'll be light work.
The biggest, if Coach was to go around, like you say, when you guys are all out in the dressing room together and everybody's in Sault Ste. Marie, and if he was to go around the dressing room and ask everybody to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about themselves, what would you say to your new teammates?
I think I would tell them how humble I am and how I talk more with my actions than I do with my words. I've come from almost having nobody noticing me to finally finding a team, to finally being recruited, to finally doing what I love to do, and that's playing on the highest level, on university level with basketball. So, I mean, I'm humble, and I'm truly honored to be able to play for Algoma, and I'm ready to go kill myself with these guys and try to go as far as we can. And I know we're gonna go far.
And like when you said about coming to Algoma and committing, what was it like when you decided that you were going to play OUA basketball and knew that you were coming and going to be able to play at that next level?
It was exciting. It's always nice to have an idea and then work so hard and eventually get that opportunity. I was coming into college hoping that I would eventually just one team would find me to play college, to play youth sports, and then after 3 games, here comes Etienne. He's like, "Hey, you have the potential. Let's go." And honestly, that was humbling, and I was so honored to for him to reach out to me so early on in the season, to fully trust me, not even having seen me play a full season. He just seeing me straight off the bat. He's like, "Hey, this guy's good. I want him." And so that was really nice.
And Coach, what did you say to him to convince him to come to Algoma?
The same thing I say to everyone. I'm crazy, but I'm crazy in terms of a coach. Can you deal with that? And the guys that say no, that ends the discussion. And when he said yes, I was like, all right, let's talk to this man. And and having the opportunity to kind of show him a little bit what I know about basketball, we had the opportunity. He wasn't able to come down, but I was able to go to him. And I said, listen, come and train with me just for, I think it was, how long was it there, Bigus? Maybe 30 minutes or something?
Yeah, 30 minutes, yeah.
And in that little 30 minutes, I said, listen, I'm not going to talk too much. Let me just show you what I know, and you'll see. And I think that was the part that was most, that convinced them. The crazy part, because I also said, the crazy guys are also the guys that believe that, we could fly. The crazy guys are the guys that believe that, you could do some great things, but you have to have a vision and do all these things. And then when I showed him that it wasn't just all talk, I showed him like, listen, this is what I can show you how you can get better. This is how you should do different things. And with Bigus, when we had the kind of ability to talk, we had talked about we just did a little something about the handles. Remember that little handles thing that we did?
Woo,
and he looked at me and he was like, I had never, like, what is going on? Like, I didn't even know I could do something like this. I said, this is just the start. There's so many things I can teach you about this game. And if you're humble enough and you have an open mind and you're hungry enough, like, I can teach you these things. And I feel that was the part that was most, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I felt, that made him confident and say, okay, you know what, I can trust this individual. Then it was the process of, okay, how's the city? How's the school? How's everything else? But I think the first part was really, showing him that, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to tell you the truth. And then here's what we're going to do so we can get better. And I feel like I was able to convince him that, we're going to do that all the time. So, and I don't know, Bigus, what do you think? Are we still doing it right now, even virtually?
Hey, we're still doing it. I think one more thing that I have to add for the purpose, one of the bigger reasons I went to Algoma too is also having a black French-speaking coach. That's something that can connect. Everything's bigger than basketball. We're seeing it nowadays with everything that's happening with Black Lives Matter. So actually having a black coach coaching me during this time, I think it's the most appropriate thing to have. He could be a mentor. He could be somebody I can talk to during times. If I'm not understanding what's going on in the court, something personal in my life, I can always turn around and see somebody that can relate to my life situation. So I think that's something that I truly need in my life.
And Bigus, well, one thing that he mentioned, handles. What are we talking about?
Hey, we're talking about.
You don't have to answer that one. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to get some information out of you.
I'll just play with coach. I mean, I can actually. You know what? You're not ready. How about that? There you go.
We gotta try. We gotta try.
Hey, well, I will show. My game will show. My game will show.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Well, Bigus, when it comes to, and coach, this is like I say, putting him on the spot here, but as an outsider coming into Algoma they only had 2 wins last season. What do you think you can help to bring? And again, it's a team sport, not just an individual sport. But what do you think you can bring to help that when it comes to the winning end of to help Algoma in the winning column?
Here, I'll answer, I guess. I think it was the same situation I came with. Pretty much the same situation I came with SCT. It's a school that relatively hasn't won more than 5 games the last 3-4 years. Then this year we won 11. I think it comes with the attitude that you have. I think I could spurt some energy that becomes contagious with other players. That sparks a new momentum, a wave, and a continuous amount of wave. I think I'm pretty fit, and I'll be able to play as long as coach wants me to play, and I'll be able to show good minutes and be able to show good efficiency while I'm playing at the same time. So I think on the defensive end, that's where I'm going to get started. I'm going to lock down the best player that they have, make sure that he doesn't have a good night. He will never have a good night when he plays against us. And on that, I hope my team can get behind me, and we can all get behind coach, and we'll go as far as we can.
And coach, I always say Algoma is still not a new program, but like I say, it has been in the OUA compared to a lot of the bigger schools. What would it mean to Algoma for you guys to make the playoffs?
What would it mean to Algoma? It would mean a lot. I mean, when you have the opportunity to take that next step in terms of evolution of your program, it means a lot to everyone. I know it would mean a lot to the community. I feel like the community is looking for a winner, is itching for a winner. The community wants to back, and it wants to be there. I read on the history of Algoma University, and when they were in the CCAA, even when they were in the playoffs, you know, it was full, and we had to play the games in the garden because there was just so many people that wanted to come out and participate and you know, celebrate this this feeling of playing and doing all that. So I feel like if we're able to do that at the highest level, and then, you know, we can establish ourselves as no longer being one of those programs that's the smaller one, but, you know, one that's actually looking to compete against everyone else, and telling everyone else that, you know, we can compete and we can do different things, and seeing ourselves differently. I feel that would be amazing, and I feel like the crowd would be into it. I actually even think that, you know, schools would be shut down, and all the students would come and watch the games, and I think this something like that would happen if we made the playoffs, to be honest with you, especially if we had a home playoff game. I think home playoff game, we'd have to move the floor and get everybody in here, because there'd be too much people wanting to watch that game.
And Coach, something we had talked about probably back just in the new year, and this season coming up again is thrown to the wind when it comes to different ideas. But the following season, what would you say about having like a basketball day in Sault Ste. Marie, where high school in the morning and then say Sault College and then you guys close it out? What would you say to something like that for the community?
Yeah, why not? That would be a great idea. You know, have this basketball day. Listen, I'm always going to be positive about having things like that happen. Be it for basketball or academics, if there's something I can do to help, you know, because I know these things are important for the youth, and I know that it brings the community together. So if we can get that going, that would be an awesome day, you know. And you know, and I would talk with administration here. I don't know if they would let me, but you could have all 3 games going right here. So, you know, let's have those games go on. That would be great. That would be awesome, actually.
And it'd be something again, just so, yeah, Sault Ste. Marie and Bigus, like your brother came here, but came to Sault Ste. Marie, but Sault Ste. Marie always been a hockey town. So if we could have basketball compete for, like you say, to be equal with hockey in Sault Ste. Marie, it'd surely add to the basketball program at Algoma, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely would. I think where there's only a few teams at Algoma University. I know Sue is fairly big on hockey. So I mean, a game like basketball, I think it's more personal. You can get to see the players. You can see facial expressions. You can hear the players. It's a whole crowd reaction. It's a whole community when you're at a basketball game. So I feel anybody who truly goes to basketball, who understands the game and goes to a basketball game, it's easy to easily fall in love with it and keep supporting the team that's going to do well.
Biggest one thing we've talked about, and say right now everything's in January. We understand with everything going on. What would happen come January 1st if you needed to play in front of no fans? How would that be?
That'll be fine with me. I practice in the gym with no fans. So it'll be just like a practice. I'll be going just as hard as I usually do, and if there's nobody there, there's nobody there. That's fine. As long as we get the win, that's all that matters.
And Coach, they can at least hear you yell at them more, right?
They can hear me more?
They'd hear you more yelling if there's no fans.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe less, because then they could hear me. It'd be like, you know, I wouldn't have to use my game voice to make heard over the crowd noise and stuff like that. So, you know, it'd be fun, man. Either way, we'd love to play.
And Bigus, the question I've asked a few guys is, what do you think it's going to be like to play with 2 sets of brothers on the roster?
Oh, that'd be great, to be honest. I feel like it will help so much more with the chemistry. Usually, if you add pieces that are already well known with one another, they can fit in better with the actual puzzle that you're trying to fit in. So having 2 brothers that have grown up with each other and all that, then having the rest of the team that fairly knows each other, and adding all that together, it's just going to be a well mixture, and that chemistry is going to be nice to see what they can do with one another. Well, that's one thing I'm really interested in, seeing how they play with one another on the coach.
You think there's going to be any drama when it comes to brothers?
I think it's going to be insane. I think I'm counting at least 2 or 3 fist fights during practices, because those are brothers, you know. If you don't fist fight with your brother, you don't love him. So I mean, I'm waiting on there. I'm probably just going to stand back, look, these are pretty big dudes. I want to get between them, yeah, I'm definitely gonna enjoy the moments that they're gonna have together. They show extreme potential, so I'm excited to have them as teammates.
And your comments on that, Coach?
To be honest, this might be the only time, but no comment. We're gonna keep that in house.
I gotta clip that out and keep that one. That's not too often. There's no comment there. Yeah, it's not too often we don't get any words from Coach. That's for sure. Bigus.
That's funny.
Well, Bigus, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my parents and my mom. Hi, Mom. And then give a shout out to my old school Cité La Coyotes. I hope you guys have an amazing season next year. You guys were amazing teammates, amazing coaching staff. Thank you, Manak. Thank you, Coach Waterman. Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, Nam. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody that was there. Thank you, my old teammates, Maddie, Simba, everybody that was there. You know, you guys are all my brothers. So thank you for everything you did, and I'm ready for my next chapter with Algoma Thunderbirds. I'm ready to fly. Let's get it.
Bigus, now you mentioned it was Roman, and was it Ben who's the three trying to live together?
Yeah, there's Roman and Ben. Ben and I have been going back and forth. You know, I'm going to be bullying him during the offseason. I'm already trying to tell Coach I'm going to be pushing this kid a little hard. So I want to see what he got.
Now, if I was to ask Mom or Dad, what are you going to drive them nuts about?
That's tough. I don't know. Help me with rent. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Something like that. I think I'll drive them nuts to. I think my parents have always been good with me at being as critical as they can, being as honest as they can always be. So no matter what they say, I want them to always be honest. Even if I have the game of my life, I want them to be like, "Hey, you could have done this better. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Come at me correct." Still be my parents and never change. And I know they'll hold me accountable for the rest of my life.
Are you neat or tidy?
Yes.
Do you cook?
Yes, I do. Thank God. Thanks to my mom, really. She showed me a few recipes, a few homemade recipes, and my dad too showed me how to cook a few things. I have my sisters who showed me. My little sister is a little chef now. She cooks a little bakery, so I'll be doing that from time to time. But I gotta watch my diet, so I'll be watching on that too.
Will your parents make the trip up sometime in January or like in the new year?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm not really looking forward for that long drive, but we'll have to find the time to do that. I think I'm going to be driving down with my brother or my dad. We'll be drive down, or I'm seeing with Vince. I'm seeing with Devin and Jay how we're going to get down. Maybe we're going to get down together, buy a van. Two people on the U-Haul, 2 people in the van. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we've been talking. It's in the works.
So, Coach, Kevin's not here, and he's going to hate this. We got jerk chicken. Now we're going to have some baking coming up too.
That's right. We're getting the whole thing. I'm even looking for a guy I'm looking for a barber as well, man. We're gonna have the whole community up here. We're gonna have the whole thing.
Oh.
So, now I forget. Kevin's not here. Who's the jerk chicken? Who was gonna bring the jerk chicken? You remember, Coach?
The jerk chicken. There's a lot of guys that are from the Caribbean, but it was probably we were talking to possibly Jay, because brother's gonna bring some great foods. Also, we were talking about jerk chicken. That was Jay. So yeah.
Ooh.
So like I say, we might have a good feast one time in the new year when the parents are up.
I am telling you, the feast is gonna be on, because the foods that these guys are gonna be able to bring is gonna be something else from many different places as well.
Maybe in the new year we'll have to have a family day and bring everybody in, and we can have a nice buffet there, Coach.
Sounds like a good idea. We should start working on it.
So I love that. I'm gonna go to Jay's house right after this. He's gonna have jerk chicken. Come on, man. You've been holding out on me. Jay. Come on. Let me have some.
Yeah, because Kevin mentioned he made it probably right around when we did the show with Jay and that, and Kevin goes, my family said it was good, but probably not nearly as good as Jay's mom's chicken. So.
Mm. Yes, that was a true statement.
Yeah. So just make sure you send Jay a message saying, coming over some jerk chicken before we leave.
I got you. I'll send you a picture too.
Just make us jealous. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough, and hopefully we'll get you on camera in the new year, or if not throughout, like say, the fall. And the one question is, we talked about, you got 4 extra months to get ready for January. That's gonna be a little bit different compared to what you're used to when it comes to high school or OCAA, isn't it?
No, not really. It's pretty much the same setup. So 4 more months. It's like they just it's like if fate wanted me to be as ready as I can and have no excuse to have an amazing season this year.
And there you go, Coach. No excuse. Now you can hold them to that.
They're all going to be held to that. There's no excuses. Let's get stuff done. When you have an opportunity, you do the best you can with that opportunity. And I feel like, most of the guys that we have are exactly like that. And, those that don't think like that, they're going to have to get that thinking going. And then we'll see how good we can actually be.
Well, again, Coach, can't thank you enough. And Bigus, thank you. And we'll do this again come in the fall.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Still there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bigus, yeah. So when you come in town, we're gonna again. We started a little bit this year about pregame and postgame interviews with players and stuff like that, and it took off really well. And with social media, it's something Coach really liked it. And the only thing about Coach is you guys never see Coach after the game, because once we get him on the mic, he's there for 15, 20 minutes, and you have Aaron, you have Coach Aaron and Mike standing there going, "Coach, what in the hell are you doing?" They're gonna have to learn how to talk to you guys, because he doesn't know how to get off the mic. So,
you know what we're gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to do like, the San Antonio Spurs. Did you ever heard of the San Antonio Spurs, Jay?
Yeah.
The coach there. Okay. Well, for him, it's 2 questions. So after
one word.
He puts a limit. He's like, you have 2 questions. Choose him well.
That's
it.
So we're gonna have to tell Kevin, have 2 good questions after the game.
2 good questions after the game, so I can be with the boys.
and then we'll just bring you out afterwards again, and then we'll post it later. How's that?
That would be cool.
Okay.
Also, it's the kids' time, man.
Yeah.
Me, you can get me on this anytime, right? But it's part of it is really, it's the kids' time, man. It's their time. They're playing a sport that they love. If we can get them on, I would even prioritize these guys instead of, me being on there all the time. I'm an old guy, man. They don't want to see me no more. They want to see those young, athletic guys.
Okay. I got a few years on you.
Yeah.
But the biggest, when we started it back, I guess in the new year, guys are like, oh, like Vincent, Devin, they're like, no, I don't want to do it, because they were nervous. Yeah. And after 1 or 2 of them did it, now the rest of the players were like, no, I got to do it. Like they found out it was fun. Like it was just nothing serious like we're doing here. But we just added to the live feed after the game because it just adds to it. That's all.
I think it also adds like a lot to it. I did one for my Algonquin game, and I felt the more you talk about it, the more you have like a better feedback about the game. You start thinking about the game as it just finishes, and I think you get to kind of like digest it better. You have a better understanding of what you just did, and then you come back to the locker room, and then you can fully talk with the team and the coaches. And I think it's a great idea, really.
And it's something, and I'm not trying to, I guess, it's not me bragging because I do the streaming and that. Even most of the big schools aren't even doing it. And the capabilities there. So it's something for us, like, and I'm not trying to pat my own back, but we had a coach from Guelph come up afterwards, and she saw that we did the interviews and that, like, during halftime of the girls' game, we'll get one of you guys on to talk pregame, like at halftime, so still gives you guys time to get ready. And then we do the girls' post game, and then we bring one of the girls on again at halftime to talk about their game. And the coach from Guelph came up. She goes, "I can't believe you guys do that." And it's easy, but she thought it was cool, and her players thought it was great that you guys got that type of exposure that most players don't get.
Yeah, don't be surprised because I'm sure a lot of schools are gonna look at it and they're just gonna hop on board and do the exact same things you guys are doing because it's a great idea, a great initiative. It gives a player a good feeling of what it is to actually be on that kind of spotlight that you see NBA players or pro players have. And, I mean, all of us are playing this game for our reasons, whether it's going to NBA, whether it's going to pro, whether it's just bettering our life. But having the full experience, I think, is always going to be good.
And like Mike and Kevin, like say Mike and Kevin do the play-by-play for us. Well, they're brother-in-laws. So Mike usually does the girls, Kevin does the guys, and it almost becomes a competition when it comes to views and questions and responses. So they have a lot of fun with it with you guys too. So
that's great. I love hearing family things like that. It's amazing.
So well, I'll let you guys go, and we'll talk soon, Coach.
Yes,
sounds
talk
good.
soon, and Bigus man, it's good to see you. All right,
take care.
And then you know what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna make you jealous, man. Steven
What
just
you
sent
gonna
me a
do?
message. He's at the door. We're about to go train.
Tell Steven I'm coming for him after. I'm coming for him.
All right, guys.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
Okay, talk to you later.
Have
Bye.
a good day, guys. Bye.